Hi, this is Mimi from Mimi's Paper Crafting. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're making my December daily. This year, yep, you see a box. I am actually going to make individual cards to fit inside this box. It is literally, I'm going to cover it, a cigar box. There's a Cigars International not too far from me. Well, there used to be. I don't know if there still is. I haven't been there since long before the pandemic. And they used to put out free cigar boxes. So I had a bunch, and I thought instead of making a box, I can just use a pre-made box. I also have some feet that we can put on the box. And these metal, I don't know what they're called. It's escaping me. And then the Christmas Flora paper pack from Cartabella. So let's get started. So all I'm going to do today is make this box and make all of the cards, because I'm going to do what I've been doing for the past few years, which is do my December daily in shorts. But we need, I'm not sure. Okay, so there's 2 of each page. So let me see what I want to cover. I think I should cover with this. I'm also going to put on the back of every paper, if it okay. So if this is the back, I can easily journal on this. It's very light pink. I can journal on this as a back. I don't want to use these cards though as the cards because they're not blank, and I want to be able to put photos on them. So I think what I'm going to do, let's measure this box, shall we? We need to find out what size papers we need. So 5.5 by 3.25 for the front. And I think I kind of want to put this card on the front. Where's my, I cannot think today. So what I'm going to do is trim this bottom off and get started cutting these apart. Now, I do really want this card for decoration for the box. So I'm going to cut this off. All right, and put it aside. So now, how big is this? Oh, look at that. We'll go 3.25 by 5.5, and then this can go here. Let me, damn it. Okay, I moved my camera. So that'll go here, and now we need, I think I'm just going to continue on with this pink. If I can find, there it is. Jeez Louise. Okay, this is 4.5 by 3.5. I need 2 of those. Damn it. Right, I cut it wrong. 3.5 this way. So it goes that way. Oh well. Okay. And then the back is higher. So let's see. Should still be up 5.5, but what's the height? 3.5. 5.5 by 3.5. And what is this? Okay, so 5.5 by 3.5. All right. And put that on the floor, get it away, and then move this. Where's the other one? Seriously? Right here. All right, and we're just going to glue these on. I'm just going to use... Oh, I do. You guys, I didn't buy Fabric, but I did buy Beacon 3-in-1. So, I'm going to use this, good, it's open, to put that on. Okay, and darn it, it's very washed out. Let me switch lights. There we go, so you can see a little bit better. There we go, that trimmed crooked. Okay, so we have this piece, and now I'm just going to turn and put the next piece on and make my way around. This is so much nicer that way I don't have to make a box. Listen, I don't mind making boxes. I've made boxes before. I've made this box here. It sits up here all the time. This box here on my channel. I've made boxes. They're just such a pain. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. They're such a pain to make. But I do it when I have to. But I was sitting there thinking, this is how I really wanted to do my December daily this year. For something different, and I'm like, but I don't want to make a box. And I was like, ooh, I think I have a bunch of cigar boxes down here. And lo and behold, I did. Okay, and then the front. But cigar boxes are great for crafting and storage. And these have been down here so long they no longer smell like cigars. Okay. All right, come here. I have some seepage. Where's my rag? Okay. All right, that's good. And then all I'm gonna do, I really want to put this here. But I also want to use this. Let's see. Too small. And I would rather just have this. But let's trim it down a bit. It's too large. So let's make it 2 inches. So I'm going to cut 1/4 inch off the top and the bottom. And then we got to do the same for the side so it does not look awkward. Okay. So this is going to go right here on the front. All right. Oh, this I can use my regular glue for. I'll leave this here because I need it for the feet. But I can just use my regular glue. And then I'm going to cut all the cards. I'm going to figure out what size card to make the cards. And then we're just going to go through and cut cards. Now, do I know how I'm going to decorate these things? I have no idea, you guys. None. I do know I want to put numbers on them. And I don't think that I have pre-done numbers. There we go. So now let's glue our feet on. So those are glued on, and we can put this aside and start making cards. Jeez Louise. So I'm just going to put a dollop in the corner, and then you just, not in the corner enough. Put that there. I'm going to turn it and do the next one. So I have to do it right here in the corner. All right. So the boyfriend has the next 3 days off, you guys. He worked 2 12-hour days. So now he has the next 3 days off. And it's going to be weird. All right, I'm going to put this aside. Did we measure? We did not measure. So 5.5, duh. I wish I would stop doing that. 3.5 by 5.5, they have to be. I would like them a little taller. So I'm going to say, and should I stagger them in height? Should I start off at 3.5 and get to 4.5? I think so. So let's do a little bit of, let me do some math. Okay, so I'm doing 25 days. I always do 25 days. I don't do the whole 31 days in December. And that's 5 different sizes. I want to start at 3.5 and make my way up to 4.5 by 1/2 inch increments. That's 5. So it's 5 of each size I need. So let's take out a sheet of every pattern. That way we can get, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. I can do, see if I can do 5 of each. So 1 of each size. Make sense? So what I'm going to do is cut four and a half. We'll start with 4.5. Okay. And we're going to cut to 5 1/4, not 5.5. We don't want them to be too tight going in. Okay. And then this is going to get cut to 4 1/4, the next size, and once again to 5 1/4. Okay. And then this one gets cut to 4. Okay. And then we cut it to 4. Nope, still 5 1/4. 5 1/4. Ay, ay, ay. And then we cut it to 3 3/4 and 5 1/4. Okay, so we just need one more, and that is at 3 1/2. I'm going to cut this though to the 5 1/4, and then I'm going to cut it to 3 1/2. Okay, so we have 3 1/2, 3 3/4, 4, 4 1/4, and 5. Let me turn them so you can see the staggered difference. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same thing. I'll do it one more time to show you how. I mean, I just like kind of winged it, but we'll see. We'll do it one more time, and then I'll do the rest off camera. Okay, so we're cutting the first to 4 1/2. I could probably just do 4 1/2, and then 4, right? And then I'm going to cut this to 5 1/4, and then cut it to 3 1/2. Oh, that's a little crooked. I'm going to trim that. Oh, I can't trim that because the thing is there. That's fine. So that one, and then come here. 5 1/4, and then we're going to cut a 1/4 inch off this one to be 3 3/4 and 5 1/4. And then 5 1/4 again, and then cut 1/4 inch off and 5 1/4. Okay. So there it is again. All right, I'm going to cut the other 3 pages and I'll be back. Okay, so here's all of them cut. And now all I'm going to do is grab them and put them in order. Hopefully they fit in the box. Okay. Now here all they are. Here all they are. Here they all are. Boy, I can't speak. Okay. Oh, I knew it. I gotta trim them all. Because I measured, you guys. Ay, ay, ay. 5. I'm going to cut them all down to 5 inches. Okay, they're all cut. And do we know the mistake I made? I didn't measure the inside. I measured the bottom of the box. Like a dum-dum. So here it is. Now, I know there's plenty of room in here. But by the time I add, like, I'm going to need to put something back here to journal on. By the time I add that layer, by the time I add a photo, embellishments, chipboard, stickers, whatever, that's going to make each one slightly thicker. But there we go. What do you guys think? It'll be interesting to see what I actually do, because I can put, what size picture? I could comfortably put like a 2 by 3 or a 3 by 3 square Or even, I could even put it up like this. So I was planning on numbering it early, but I might have to make some of them actually go like that. Not all of them, but depending on what my pictures are, I might have to. So my next plan for this, I need to find some numbers. I need to either cut them out with my Cricut, or I need to find some at a craft store. My only option is Michael's, unless I hate Hobby Lobby with a passion. I despise Hobby Lobby, but without Joanne, I don't really have a choice. If I can't find what I need at Michael's, I'm going to have to go to Hobby Lobby. I just hate Hobby Lobby. A, I hate going to Hobby Lobby. B, I hate Hobby Lobby. So there's that. But this is it. This is the start. I may actually put a piece of this same pink paper in the bottom here. We'll see how thick everything gets and what it ends up looking like. But I need 25 numbers. I want them different styles, different colors, different sizes. And then I'm going to need some blank pages that I'll probably cut. I'll probably go through before the beginning. This is October, what the fuck day is it? 20th. Today's October 20th. So I have plenty of time to go through and cut white paper to the size that I need. And then I'm going to have to go through my stash and find all the stuff. All the Christmas stuff I have. I'm going to use the stickers as much as I can. If I can. I can use other pieces of the leftovers of the paper for decorating the pages and whatever Christmas stuff that I find. This is why I went with the floral, because I figured whatever I find would go okay with the floral. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know down below, what are you doing for your December daily? I will see you guys in the next crafty video. Hit the like button, subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.